Welcome back to the How to Podcast series. It's Dave. This is our roundup of our answers to the question of the month for the month of May. We're in the beginning of June, so here it is. Here's our results. We've had a few people respond, and I'm so thankful for you responding to the question of the month. The question was, do you read the episode show notes when you're listening to a podcast? Now, that is the notes that appear on your phone, not on a website that you have to go to and find the episode number. That's something different. I mean, on your phone, as you're listening to this right now, have you looked down at your phone yet? Have you looked at the notes for this episode? Do you read these, yes or no? And give me some information around what you do when you press play on your phone listening to a podcast. So I had some great responses from some of my best podcasting friends. So I thought I would share them with you here on the How to Podcast series. Are you ready? I'm ready. Here we go. A reminder as we get in here to starting the podcast that we do have our regular podcaster meetups that are happening every Saturday right now. We're meeting at like 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Toronto, New York, that area of the world. That's the time we meet at 11 o'clock in the morning, and we have people from all over the U.S. and Canada. We have people from the U.K. joining us. It's great. It's all podcasters getting together and just supporting each other in community around podcasting. And the one thing that's really missing, I noticed, is you're not there. Yeah, you're not there, and we need you to be part of our group. We would love to hear from you, whether you have 1,000 episodes or you have 1,000 ideas and you haven't started yet. Come and join a great community over on meetup.com. There's a link on our howtopodcast.ca website. Go there and follow the link and come and join us. We're up to like 180, 190 people have said, I'm in here on Meetup, and we would love to hold space for you as well. It's completely free. It doesn't cost you a penny. Just your time. So get your Saturday morning bowl of cereal and your juice. I like grapefruit juice. And come and join us. I'm going to have my Captain Crunch cereal, my grapefruit juice, and I'm here with you. Maybe a cup of coffee because, it's morning. And come and join us over on our meetup over at howtopodcast.ca. Click the meetup link and come and join us. We'd love to have you there. So here's the answers to the question of the month. Do you read the episode show notes when you listen to a podcast? Here we go. You ready for some answers? Here's some answers from some of our friends. Here we go.
Welcome. You've got mail.
Hey, Dave. This is David Beckmeyer. I am answering your question for May. Do you read the show notes? I mean, I guess the answer is usually not, if I'm just kind of listening and it's going along. But if sometimes if there's a guest or something that was talked about that I want to find out more info, then I will. But as a matter of course, I don't.
There we go. There's Dave. Thank you, Dave. He's got a great podcast. Outrage Overload. See, Dave, I didn't do it. I didn't say Overlord. I said Overload. Dave's just back from a whirlwind trip. And I've been watching his stories and stuff online on social and enjoying traveling with Dave as he's out there exploring the world. Dave, thank you for leaving your message. I really appreciate it. Dave comes to our meetups and he's a great contributor. Super smart. Dave talks, you listen. I mean that Dave. Not really this Dave, but that Dave. He's a great guy. Definitely go check out his podcast. We'll have links in the show notes as well. Go check out his podcast. So that was Dave. Let's jump into another one. Here you go. Another response to our question of the month. Do you read the episode show notes when you're listening to a podcast? Here we go.
Welcome. You've got mail.
Hi, Dave. It's Scarlett. I have some super exciting news to share, and I just could not wait till Saturday at our meetup group to tell you. I'm in India. What? I am in India. Like, wow. I'm just, you can probably tell by the tone of my voice that I'm just I'm so excited. I'm speechless, and I'm a podcaster. I'm not speechless, ever. Yeah, so wow, I just so excited. Wanted to share that with you. I knew you'd be excited, and so we can all be excited together. And thank you for putting me in touch with Jenny. We're going to record on Saturday, so I'm really excited and looking forward to that as well. And in response to your question of the month for May, so here she is. Hello, everybody. My name is Scarlett Classic. I have the Classic Advice Podcast. It's all about becoming a better you. And as a host, I'm becoming a better me just by having this podcast. And I have amazing co-hosts on my podcast. Dave is on my podcast. So if that is intriguing to you, we talk all about parenting. So yeah, go check that out. JJ is on my show, and now I'm going to have Jenny. And I do solo episodes as well, just from my lessons that I've learned going through life. I've been married, divorced. I'm happily married now. I have kids. I co-parent with my ex. And I talk a lot about mental health issues because I am a survivor of depression, anxiety, and PTSD. So there's all of that stuff as well in there. So yeah, that's all about my podcast. But for the question of the month of May, do I read the show notes as a listener? And my answer is yes. Not 100% of the time, but I do go in the show notes. It's more for selfish reasons. When I listen to a podcast and I feel like, oh, wow, this is an amazing maybe co-host at that podcast, like your podcast for the How to Podcast series, like, oh, wow, like that.
Welcome.
That co-host that you have
You've
on,
got
Dave,
mail.
is someone that I feel like I would really click with. And if they have a podcast or whatnot, and I want to get in touch with them because I feel like they would be a great addition to my own podcast, or that I just want to listen to their podcast. Or maybe they have a book that I'm really, because I'm an avid reader, so maybe they have something like that I want to dive a little bit deeper into, then yeah, I definitely go to the show notes and check all that stuff out. So that is my answer. And I think that is it. Alrighty. You have a super awesome day, Dave, and can't wait to see you Saturday. Alrighty. Bye-bye.
So if you could put sunshine in a bottle and then add a little bit of caffeine and a kick and some chocolate and some spice and all the nice things in the world, you get Scarlett right there. That's it. That's what I would say. And you can tell when she's excited about something like podcasting, it just kind of shows. My question to you as a podcaster is, are you showing up with excitement, or are you just really monotone and meh, 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 meh? You're not going to get that from Scarlett. She's in. She's all in. And Scarlett, thank you for leaving a message. I love it. So again, there's some more feedback around it. Again, if you didn't have the opportunity to leave me your thoughts around the question of the month, you missed out. I'm sorry, because we've moved on, and these are the responses we've had. We had 3 this time. I would love to hear more from you. Okay, so if you're thinking, oh, dang, I missed it, I forgot. Okay. You need to remember, and I know it takes a little while to get in the habit, but you need to be here for our next one, okay? I'm talking to you. You are a podcaster. You like to talk, so talking should be easy for you. I need you to jump over to our website, howtopodcast.ca. Leave your answer to the next question for the month of July. I'll tell you about that in a second. Before I tell you about July's question, here is one more. This is a great friend of the show. Also joins us, like Scarlett, like David, joins us on our meetups. He's a great guy, and I have a lot of respect for this gentleman. He is a very caring and wonderful person. And Gary's here with his thoughts around the question of the month. Do you read the episode show notes when you're listening to a podcast? Gary, over to you.
Welcome. You've got mail.
Hi, Dave. This is Gary from Healthy Vegan Living. Show notes. I look at your show notes, especially when you have a software that I am interested in. I do look at other people's show notes just sometimes, like I listen to a Democratic, The World Gone Mad, and I'm interested in that one, so I do look at his show notes. I look at other vegan show notes. There's another one called Out of Vegan. I listen and look at her show notes, but she quit in 2020 I think right after COVID, and that was the end of her show notes. But I do pay attention. I listen to comedy, and I look at their show notes only to get the stars so that I can go follow them on, like Instagram or. So I do pay attention to the show notes. But I also put a lot of time into my show notes. My show notes are what I say on my podcast. I didn't used to do it that way, but now it's just easier. It's exactly pretty much what I say. So yes, I look at show notes. All right, Dave, it's been a pleasure. I really enjoyed your last Daily Dave. It was excellent. Thank you for putting me into the podcast. It's always nice to hear my voice. I guess I'm a little vain here. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.
Thank you, Gary. You're not vain. You're just wonderful. So thank you for leaving your message. And again, for you as a podcast listener to the How to Podcast series, my encouragement to you is to participate because you get a chance to talk about your show, get it in front of a bunch of free people for free. It doesn't cost you a penny to leave us a message and give your answer to this month's question of the month. I would love for you to come and promote your show. There's people listening to this who would love to hear about your podcast. So join us for the end of June. Submit your answers before the end of June. That last week of June is when I'll be doing the edits and getting this podcast out. So I have to collect all the messages and get them all together and do this editing thing and get it out to the world. So I need a few days. So by the end of the month, I need your response in the month of June for the question of the month. Now you're like, Dave, all this question of the month thing, and you hadn't even told us what the question of the month is for June. I can tell you that right now. Are you ready? Okay. The question of the month for June simply is, for you as a podcast listener, and I hope you are a podcast listener, as a podcaster, you probably should. And I'm just asking the question, how many podcast episodes do you listen to per week? What is your total for the week? An average. Okay, some weeks you'll have more, some weeks you'll have less. Give me the average. What are you thinking? How many total do you listen to in 1 week? 7 days. How many episodes in 7 days do you listen to as a listener? What's your number? I'd love to know what it is. The average, from what I can see on research and looking online, it varies depending on who's writing the article, but I see stuff like 6 to 7 episodes a week. Okay? That's like middle, maybe high, middle, around there. Do you listen to 1 episode a week? Do you listen to 100? Tell us. Go to howtopodcast.ca. There's a SpeakPipe link on the website. That's a little icon. It looks like a megaphone. You click it, opens a screen, and you can leave a voice message. And give me the answer to the question of the month for June. How many episodes a week, 7 days, how many episodes do you listen to in 7 days? I'd love to know. Leave me an answer over at howtopodcast.ca through the SpeakPipe link so that I can bring your voice, your beautiful podcaster voice, into this episode for June. And again, remember to promote your podcast, tell us about your show, how to find it, all that great stuff as part of your answer. And then answer that question, how many episodes a week do you listen to on average as a podcast listener? I'd love to hear. So again, whether you have a podcast or not, you can respond to this question of the month. And the more answers, the better. All right? howtopodcast.ca. How many podcast episodes do you listen to per week? What's your number? Let me know. I would love to share your voice message right here at the end of June for our question of the month. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the podcast. Great things coming up in the future. I love having you here. And I love that you're finding value in the How to Podcast series. Really appreciate you for taking time to be here. And thank you to both Dave, Scarlett, and Gary for your comments here on the episode. Again, catch you on the next one, everyone. Don't miss your opportunity to promote your show, everybody. Come and join us and answer that question of the month. Talk soon. Take care.